Talk about the Odyssey first. The Odyssey is coming out, I believe, at the end of the year. It's a film by
No,
Christopher
summer.
Nolan. What's that?
I think it's cut summer, right?
Is it summer? Whatever. I care so little about this. I don't even know when it comes out. But it's coming out. It's Christopher Nolan. And Christopher Nolan has a track record of stellar films, right?
July 17th.
Yeah.
July 17th. So this movie comes out. And recently there is some controversy about who is playing Helen of Troy. But before we get into that controversy, I want to watch the trailer with you guys. And I want to discuss whether or not this is going to flop or win based solely on the trailer. And then when we go to the news, we'll talk about whether or not it's going to completely damage Christopher Nolan's career.
Or at least reputation.
Or reputation, right? I think his career is pretty
Remember
intense.
that guy who did Interstellar? He was so cool.
He was funky, wasn't he?
All right. So this is the trailer for The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan, starring that one guy from Spider-Man, Zendaya, Matt Damon, and pretty much every other person who will work for anything. Here we go. Controversy, remember when they're like, what is that guy wearing? I remember the very first image we got was this guy's helmet, and people were like, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look anything like Roman soldiers.
Oh my! You know what's sad? If you're going to be that nitpicky, oh god, this movie's in trouble.
I know. At the time, I was like, I don't care enough. I don't care about this news whatsoever. Continue. But then, like, I guess that was the start of seeing things go poorly for this film. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, who is in every movie made by this man.
By the way, he looks great with a beard, though, right?
He looks good with a beard and a helmet.
Yeah. It makes his features more masculine. Visual. I like that.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the.
Oh, we got this weird horse. Let's take it into our city. I wonder what's going to happen.
Wait, is that the horse?
Oh yeah, it's the horse. That's the famous horse.
That's the
Wooden horse.
That's the horse, the Troy horse, right? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, pause it real quick. Is this the story of? Is this the actual like? I'm confused. Is this the Odyssey, the myth?
No, the Odyssey was a book that was written by Plato.
Okay, and it had the
Iliad and the
the
Odyssey.
wooden horse in it.
Yeah, that's part of the story. Yeah, so they thought that Troy was actually a. They thought all of this was just legend and made up, but they actually believe they found the remains of Troy off the coast of the Western Adriatic.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, some of it's got to be made up, though. Isn't there like cyclopses and stuff
Yeah, actually,
and sirens and all that?
I'm sure. I mean, you got the gods; they're not real, or are they aliens? I guess you can decide if you want.
They're
Yeah,
aliens.
it's a made-up story, bro, for
They're
sure.
aliens.
But some of it, I believe, was taken from actual things that had occurred. So, like people who write stories today, they take things that and then they fabricate.
Yeah.
something.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat. It's Homer, not Plato. I get it. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's
Hey,
Homer.
Shane still knows more than I do because I don't know.
I'm actually been on the whole Plato kick lately, so my bad.
Right, got it. That is the trailer. So let's discuss this trailer.
So this story, by the way, is the story is about Matt Damon's character. It's the journey of Odyssey.
Journey home, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's meant
he's trying to
be a
get
journey
back
home.
to his family, and it takes a long time, and he goes through a lot of adventures during that time. And it's a story that's been told many times. It's been told on film, and I feel like it's always been difficult to tell this story without kind of being a little boring. So it'll be interesting to see if Christopher Nolan can improve upon past adaptations.
Yeah, from my perspective, looking at the trailer, I'm going to be honest with you guys, looks boring. I know that might be sacrilegious to some of you guys. Like, oh my God, how is the Odyssey boring? I'm just telling you. Maybe
that's Brian level. You got to let's be fair. Let's
no. Stop. No,
Brian Gage.
Can you not qualify it as like Brian level?
I have to. You have this barometer for movies that anything that doesn't have explosions and car chases.
No, I know you guys is. I'm looking at it.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. We can see cars Fast and Furious style go along the beach.
Brian, give me one movie that you really like that doesn't have explosions and car chases in it.
There's a lot of movies.
Give me one that you really like.
Okay, The Godfather.
You really like that movie?
Yes, the second one. The
Right. I would think you would think
first
that
one's
was
boring as hell. But
fair enough. It's a slow movie, by the way.
yeah, but the
Well,
character.
there's gunfire. There's gunfighting.
Yeah, sure. There's gunfighting.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. There's gunfighting. Whatever.
Okay, maybe there's some action in there. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. The Notebook. You made me watch that. I liked it.
What?
Yeah, you said there was time travel in it, dude. By the way, you lied about that.
I did.
Yeah,
but you watched it.
You son of a bitch. I thought there was time travel in this
There
movie.
was time travel in their mind.
I know. I recognize that. It's a good movie.
I will never judge you again, brother.
But you literally tricked me into watching The Notebook, and I don't appreciate that at all. It got me some intimacy with my wife, so I'm going to take that one to the bank.
That's like
but you were not lying about that. Chicks are
manipulation.
really into The Notebook, bro. literally, like 6 hours later, my wife was all over me. Something about that movie gets them going.
Do you know, so what you're saying is I've just got to walk down the high street just with an iPad, just playing The Notebook,
Pretty much.
just up and down all day.
Something
and I'll
about
just
that
have
movie
walls
does
of
it for
women.
chicks, bro. I don't know. No, I like plenty of movies that don't have like nonstop action. Do I also like the nonstop action? Yes, because it's entertaining. And movies are entertainment. This is what I think some people in Hollywood have forgotten. Movies are meant to be entertaining. They're not meant to be lessons. They're not meant to be, some kind of social message or statement. They're meant to be entertaining. And you know what? When you look at Rotten Tomatoes, you can always tell the movies that were made to be entertaining versus the movies that were made to be some kind of learning, lesson for some virtual signaling lesson. Because the critic score for the Professor movies
score
will be like 98.5. Amazing film. And the audience score will be 6. And if it's entertaining, flip it on its head. So I like entertaining movies. I also like movies that are about characters. If you can give me a movie that is both entertaining, has action adventure, has, characters and character development and 3-dimensional motivations, then it's going on my top 10. And that's why, and I'm not even a Marvel guy. I literally run a channel called the DC Unleashed. I'm a DC guy, but the end game, the Infinity War saga of Marvel is one of the greatest film series ever made because it's action, adventure, character development, 3-dimensional characters. The crazy part about this, I'm going on a tangent, is that Thanos, who's the big bad they've been painting as the Satan of this universe, by the time you get to the end of that saga, he was the guy, he thought he was doing the right thing. And from his perspective, you could see how he sort of was. And these annoying Avengers were getting in the way. He didn't want to be the bad guy. He was trying to save the universe. Crazy cool.
Especially after you see the Eternals, and then you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, you see the Eternals, you're like, oh my God. And it puts all of it together with Titan and everything. So I like movies that are entertaining for sure.
I'm
movies
never
will
going
always
to
get
see the
extra
Eternals
points
again.
You only have to watch it once. Movies will always get extra points for having explosions and fighting. And
I'm sorry I triggered you, bro.
You triggered me because I am not just the lowest common denominator moviegoer, but I'm also realistic in that I like entertaining things.
No, you know what? You're actually moving the peg for me because I honestly felt like you were the lowest common denominator human being when it came to movies. I really did, because every good movie that was like you didn't really like, but you're showing me that you like some stuff.
Brings your dark mode.
Look, guys, slow movies. Okay, I don't care how good the characters or acting is. If it's slow, it's always gonna be a minus for me, dude. You made me watch that movie. What was it called? Lotus Flower or something? Killer Moon.
Killers of the
Lotus Flower Moon or something.
Yeah,
guys, the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Like, honestly, in my
You
life.
saw Showgirls?
Listen, guys. I have seen porn parodies that were better, that had better acting and better pacing. That movie was absolute garbage.
It's a bad movie, but Leo DiCaprio's good, and so is Jesse Plemons.
I told you guys before, when I was dating someone a few years back, she made me watch Memoirs of a Geisha on a Friday night. The relationship fizzled out shortly after that. And I thought, right, I'm quite happy now. I
Yeah.
can put on Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
Sorry,
maybe that's why I
you
like.
caused
There's
this.
nothing wrong with liking those movies. I want to be clear. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with the
No.
movies that you like. I'm just giving you shit because you give me shit about the movies I like. Fair
Well,
enough.
okay, because sometimes you like really boring movies.
But there you go. See, so it's just a give and take, right?
Yeah,
Just a give and take.
The reason I like superhero films is when they're done well, they're really good. But to be fair, when they're done poorly, they're super cringe
really
and bad. Like there's no real in between for superhero films. Anyways, back to Odyssey. So based on the trailer alone, from my perspective, because I haven't seen another trailer yet, it looks boring. And I did hear that it's a very, very long movie, and I'm just not interested in sitting in the theater for 4 hours watching establishing shots and all that stuff. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
You don't want to watch this movie then, bro.
I mean, bro, like we watched the first Dune movie, and I was like, "What's going on? Why is there a 5-minute shot of what's his name? What's the guy? What's the twin?
Timothy Chalamet?
Timothy Chalamet's looking up at the sky, watching the
He
ships
hates
come
Timothy
down.
Chalamet, by the way.
You know what? I actually like him more after I saw Willy Wonka. I was like, at least
Wonka was
like
good.
the guy has range,
Yeah.
and he's sort of based in like he just does whatever role he wants
He
to.
dated
versus-
Zendaya, so it's like,
But
now he's
dude-
like with the Kardashians, so it's like,
Well, I give him that's definitely a step up. Like,
well, yeah, but you know how many other people have been with the Kardashians? I'm just saying.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's a very. I don't think it's a hard metric to hit.
I'm
But
not going.
but
to
there
say
was that
anything else.
shot where he was like watching the ships come down, and it's like 5 minutes. Where I just feel like Denis Villeneuve is just like jerking off over his footage the whole time. Like, oh, look how amazing this is! Ah!
Well, that was part of it. A director can fall in love. And let me tell you something. Nolan is going to do that with the Odyssey. I promise you. He's going to fall. He's been wanting to tell this story for a long, long time. The problem is how do you tell this story? You tell it accurately, but you also make it interesting. There's tons of crazy shit that happens in this story. If he can capture that and somehow modernize it enough for this audience, but still make it true to its time, that's very difficult to do. He's the only guy who can do it. So it's possible.
My question is this: why make a 4-hour movie called The Odyssey when you could have made The Odyssey 1, 2, and 3 and had actual entertaining stories within all this? Because isn't The Odyssey like a huge book with a collection of massive tales?
What do you want him to do? Turn this into fucking Avatar? No, you don't want to watch 4 Odyssey movies, bro. I want this. Listen, Nolan is the best director we have right now. I want him to make lots of movies. I want to see lots of stuff that he has to do. I don't want him to spend 8 years focused on the Odyssey.
Like a Cameron
Right.
Avatar
Like
scenario.
we've got a waste of James Cameron with these stupid Avatar movies that he has now spent a decade of his life working on, and we're not getting any other good stuff from him. So I'm being a little selfish here.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but you could have broken up this movie into 3 movies. Wait.
Did you like Dune 1 and 2?
Instead of making a 4-hour movie that's going to 100% has to have pacing issues, whether too slow or or things aren't being told, or things that were cut out shouldn't have been cut out, or vice versa. Like, you could have actually told this story properly. If any story is built for a trilogy, is it not the Odyssey?
Sure, you could, but are you going to have interest? Anyways, I sent you an image that you'll want to use when we're going to talk about it. But is there going to be interest in watching 3 portions of? He's taking a big risk by making this movie. People are going to show up and watch it because it's Christopher Nolan, but he's going to be judged hardcore on it. And John Berthenol, he's a good actor. Matt Damon, good actor. I'm not sure where the magic sauce is going to be here, though.
I think for the younger generation, they're going to go and watch it because it's a Christopher Nolan movie. They're not going to go and watch it because it's the Odyssey,
right?
Because they probably don't know what the Odyssey is.
Exactly.
So having a trilogy is a tricky thing to do, and that's probably why the studios have said, no, you do 1.
Okay.
And well, we'll see how we get on.
Let's talk about the casting. I'm looking at the cast list for the Odyssey, and here we go. I'm going to read them off to you, and you tell me when you get to someone you don't recognize, okay?
Oh, and John made a good point real quick before you go through that. if you're not Christopher Nolan, you never get this movie made. No studio allows any other director to make this movie but Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, maybe right
100%.
there.
Maybe Steven Spielberg. Maybe.
All right, here's the cast list, and we're going to talk about the controversy. Matt Damon, Elliot Page, formerly whatever. It's a boy now, but she was a girl. Tom Holland. I forgot her name. Ellie Page. Elliot Page. I didn't know Elliot Page was in here. By the way, there's no name. There's no role underneath her name.
Can you show the IMDb page just to show people?
If Elliot Page is playing the Cyclops, mate, I'm going to flipping punch the air because that is legendary casting.
All right, there we go. It's Matt Damon as Odysseus, Elliot Page, Tom Holland as Telemachus. I'm going to ruin these names. I'm just not going to say them. Zendaya as Athena. Talk about weird casting there. I don't know how that works out. Robert Pattinson as whatever. Mia Goth, Anne Hathaway, John Berthol, whatever. Benny, don't know his name. Charlize Theron, didn't know she was in it. Okay. Lupita Nyong'o, and look at the role she's playing. It's just a 0, right?
They don't show you, yeah. And
right.
the reason why they don't show you some of the roles is because they want it to be a surprise.
Right. So it's a huge cast that's in here. But we're going to be talking about Lupita whatever her name is. And she is probably playing Helen of Troy, because if you look at the trailer, this is her sitting next to John, how do you pronounce his last name? Berthenol's character. And the hidden part of this, where it's not showing what role she's playing, is very telling. So a lot of people are assuming that she's playing Helen of Troy. This would not be unlikely. Now, it's bad casting. We can all agree on that. Most of us can. But this would not be out of the realm of current Hollywood, who race bend, gender bend, everything bend, any character that fits whatever virtual signaling they're trying to do that week.
Well, the reason why it's bad casting, let's explain why, is because, so you got John Bernthal here. He is playing Menelaus. Now, Menelaus is the king that Helen was married to when the guy from the Prince of Troy came in. I can't remember his name right now. When Legolas, if you watch the movie Troy with Brad Pitt,
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, and came and basically stole her away and took her back to Troy. And so Menelaus, rallied all of Greece to go and basically get her back. This scene supposedly takes place where the image that you were showing takes place 10 years after the events of Troy. So where Helen has been brought back to Greece.
And it would make sense if they're going to have the wooden horse, then they're probably going to have this scene too.
Well, here's the thing is, it's possible that she's Helen of Troy because she's sitting next to him. Is it possible she's somebody else sitting at the table next to that other person? I don't know. But there's no guarantee that she is Helen of Troy. It's just kind of being assumed at this point. If she is, here's the problem. Her mother, Helen's mother, was Leda, and she was a princess of Greece from Aetolia, right? Her father is Zeus. Helen's actually a demigoddess, like a demigoddess. Her father's Zeus, her mother's a human. And her mother is very white. Zeus, I don't know what he is. I'm assuming Greek god.
Well, sometimes he's a Pegasus. Sometimes he
can be a lot
swan.
of things. Could he have made a black girl? Yes, absolutely. But a little unreasonable for if we're staying true.
It doesn't fit the lore
to the Greek storyline. And so, would Christopher Nolan do this? He doesn't really strike me as the kind of director that kind of would go this way and do this kind of thing. And especially since it's so important to him. I'm actually leaning more to the fact that she's not Helen of Troy, because I just have a hard time believing that Christopher Nolan, who doesn't need to bend the knee to the studio, who doesn't need to bend the knee to casting, would want to go so far out something that's so important to him to make it wrong. Because Zendaya, you could pass her off as Greek. You could.
No, you
can't.
couldn't.
You absolutely can't. Greek people are a combination of bronze-skinned people. They're not.
But
you
Athena
could do it.
aren't these characters supposed to be like beautiful women?
I'm not saying that you're right. Zendaya is not beautiful, but in today's standards, people think she is. So whatever.
Okay, so maybe Nolan really thinks this chick Lupita is just super hot, and he's like, who's gonna play the hottest chick on? Because it's supposed to be like this beautiful, captivating women that like men fight wars for.
Well, no, the Helen is.
Helen is right.
Oh yeah, well, give you an example.
That's
when
what
you
I'm
go
saying.
back and watch the early 2000s Troy movie, look at Helen of Troy in that movie. She's gorgeous. She's absolutely stunning in that movie.
True.
Now, you know, I'm not saying this person here, if she is cast as Helen of Troy, is unattractive, but she's not the face that launched 1,000 ships, is she?
Right. That's the
that's the problem.
You gotta,
if that is the case.
And like I said, you just gotta stay true. And I'm sorry, and this goes for any movie, anytime. Look, if you're doing Shaka Zulu, we can't have some white guy playing, Shaka Zulu. You can't have these weird race changing things. Just keep it the way it is. So I think people saw this image and they kind of made an assumption because she's sitting next to him. I just want to point out there is no guarantee, and I would be a little surprised if Christopher Nolan went that way when it's very obvious that Helen was Greek, and there are no black Greek people at that time. So it would just be a little bit odd.
I mean, didn't we have like a black Cleopatra? Didn't we have a bunch of...
Yep, and we went through that, and how was that returned? And do you think Christopher Nolan wants that distraction with his movies?
Right.
I don't think he wants that distraction. So I'm just saying, taking this from like an analytical point of view and just kind of common sense, it doesn't make a lot of sense that he would make this choice, and therefore it's possible that he didn't make this choice, and that she's sitting there more out of coincidence, and she's some other element of the party. I don't know if they let slaves eat at the table, but there were a lot of slaves back. I don't know, honestly. She could be. I honestly don't. Maybe she's a Nubian queen that has come to visit. All this time later. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, so that's the whole controversy so far. I still think the movie is going to fail because it's so expensive.
I don't think it's going to fail.
Yeah, I think it's going to fail.
I think it's going to make its money because I think everybody goes see a Christopher Nolan movie, bro. Everybody goes see a Christopher Nolan movie.
That's not true. I mean, hold up. I can't say that about
Oppenheimer, bro.
No, the one before that. What was it called?
Tenet.
Yeah, we can't say that about Tenet. It was an asterisk next to Tenet.
And it got released directly to Warren.
But I watched Tenet, and it was not a really good film.
Bad movie. You're right.
It's a bad movie.
Not good. He lucked out because had we had not had COVID and that movie had come out, it would have brought him down a notch.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you noticed, that actor has not been in much stuff since then. He had 2 back-to-back failures. David, what's his name? And he's not been in much.
Yeah, I don't think they're hit. It wasn't his fault though. That was the writing.
It was a bad story.
So it's a $250 million movie.
It's gonna make $250 million.
That's before marketing.
So okay, it's gonna make 400. The problem is, and people are complaining a lot about like a lot of movies coming out, like Supergirl, and they're complaining about Superman. Guys, we don't really know how much money they spent on these movies.
That's true. So you can usually assume.
Yeah.
You can usually assume like $100 million marketing budget, but that's probably bullcrap too, because Superman had more tie-ins, like marketing tie-ins and licensing deals than any other movie I've seen in the last 15 years. I wouldn't be surprised if they made money on the marketing for that movie, and they chose not to release a movie during a trailer during the Super Bowl. Instead, they did the Puppy Bowl, which had the biggest numbers the Puppy Bowl has ever gotten that year. Which I expect they're going to repeat that tomorrow. I think the Puppy Bowl is going to go, and there's going to be a Supergirl trailer there. So I'm not sure if they lost. I think they actually made money on the marketing for that film. And Supergirl is not fair because a lot of the stuff that they did and shot and created for Superman is being used in Supergirl, and so the budget is way lower. It's like $120 million.
I think the problem is because Hollywood is not transparent about the numbers. People who want something to fail say, oh well, marketing's definitely going to be like 3 times the cost of production. There's people who kind of put that number out there. Not everybody spends $600 million to market their film.
I think it's disingenuous when YouTubers criticize a film because like, oh well, it made $600 million, but it costs $250 million plus $200 million, and the studio only gets 60% of that. And if you do the math, then it lost $14. You're like, that's real. All your math is like, most of your math is imaginary. So
my math is always the cost of production, what you tell us it is, and then I usually do half of the cost of production for marketing.
Right. So that would put this movie at $250 million for the budget, $125 million for marketing.
So it's got to make 375 to break even.
I gotta say, if there's an Odyssey trailer tomorrow at the Super Bowl, then that number for me is going to go up a little bit. So,
well, 125 million is still a lot of money to spend on marketing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot of money. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. So we don't know how many of those actors have point of sale deals and all that stuff too. So we don't have all the numbers. But if the movie doesn't make at least $600 million, I think it's a failure.
600 million?
Has to make at least $600 million because it has a massive cast, huge budget, more than like
budget.
Well, no.
Said 375.
No.
Why does it got to make 6?
Well, no, hold up, because you said marketing would be 125 million, right?
Right.
So these are all imaginary numbers. I'm doing the same thing I just criticized, but here you go. 250 million, right? 375 million dollars total.
Yeah.
But then how many of these actors, and famously Matt Damon is famous for his point of sale, which he gets a percentage of the box office. Okay. How many of these actors have the same exact thing? You don't think Christopher Nolan's getting back end? Of course he is. And then plus you got to cut in the theaters, right? So if you do the math on all that, the movie's got to make at least $600 million to make
you
profit.
Basically just did what you complained to other people.
Well, before I did,
it made $14.
Before I just said all
those numbers.
No, you weren't listening. Before I said this, I said I'm literally doing the same thing I just criticized.
Okay.
But it makes a lot of sense, right? So $425 million, right, is what this movie's costing them.
375. You're
saying
50 plus 125 is 375. 375 million.
Okay, so 375 million. So the movie's got to make at least double its money.
I'm gonna say if the movie makes 450 million, then it's definitely got everything covered.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does because the theater takes 25%. Theaters take 25%, so you got to make double your budget.
Well, they take less overseas, so it depends on how much you get seen overseas.
Overseas, except for in China. China takes more. China takes 40%.
That's true. Well, I guess we'll just have to see how it spends out. But
interested
the way I look at it,
yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I'm just tired of people moving the bar on it, saying a movie's not going to make it. But if you don't think this movie's going to make, I'm sorry. So you said it needs to make double. So I think it needs to make 600 million.
I think it needs to make 600. I'm saying it's not even double. You said 375. So like I'm saying 600 million needs to make to make money.
Right.
Wow,
to make money. Okay.
So double that though. If you were doubling the budget and the marketing, then it would be 725 or whatever, right? 7 whatever. I'm saying 600 million. So I'm not being unreasonable here. It says it has to make 600 million to be in the black, based on imaginary numbers that we don't even know. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I think it needs to make 600 million.
I'll go with since the movie theaters are getting 25%. That would be about 100 million. So yeah, I guess that would make sense. 600 million would cover everything. Okay, yeah, I'll go with you on that.
I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or critical. I'm saying if it doesn't make 600 million, I think it's a failure.
And I'll tell you this: I think it'll be close. I think it's gonna. Right. I think 600 million is about where I thought the max was at.
So it could make 800 million, especially since it's not. I thought it was coming out at the end of the year. It's actually coming out in the summertime. So it
really depends on worldwide. Honestly, how much interest worldwide.
So my opinion is it won't get to it won't surpass 600 million. Shane's saying it will.
I'm saying it'll probably get to 600 million. That's my guess.
John, what do you think, buddy?
I think it'll get over 600 mil. I don't think it'll break $1 billion. I don't think that's going to happen.
There's no Barbenheimer this time.
Barbenheimer, yeah.
Yeah.
But can I also say on the side, if anyone's not ever watched the sci-fi show Red Dwarf, they do a great bit about the Trojan horse in that, and Lister basically says in it, he goes, what I hate about this is the fact that they give them this horse that's just big enough to hold 500 soldiers with adequate toilet facilities, and they just wheel it in. People like that deserve to be slaughtered.
All right, so we're gonna go to super chats here, but real quick, the Outcomes has a bold prediction. He says the Odyssey will be $1 billion box office, and you know what? Outcomes, regardless of what I feel about this movie, for the theater's sake, I hope you are correct.
They got 2 weeks.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
They got 2 weeks because I'll tell you why. Odyssey comes out July 17th. Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out July 31st.
Yeah, Spider-Man's gonna wipe the floor with it,
2
dude.
weeks.
So it has a 2-week runway to make $1 billion.
Tom Holland.
He's in both movies, by the way.
Hey, by the way, Tom Holland's having a great summer. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys think in the chat and in the comments what you guys think about the Odyssey. Will it get to $1 billion? Will it get to 600 million? Will it flop? My opinion is it will not do well, and Shane's opinion is it does.
One more thing that it has problem with. So July 1st, Minions 3 comes out, and kids love those Minions movies. So parents who maybe want to go see the Odyssey might shoot their wad on Minions on July 1st and 4th of July partying, right? And not be able to afford to go see the Odyssey. So you might be right.
That's a question
So,
for you guys.
Well, I'm sorry, real quick, John, real quick.
Yeah.
So I want to touch on that real quick. When I wanted to go see Anaconda, right? I wanted to go see that movie. At the same time, there was some kid thing happening. I don't even remember what it was. And I could not convince my family to go see Anaconda with me because all they wanted to watch was that stupid kid movie. And legitimately, I can't afford to take my family to see 2 films. It's just too expensive. Mm-hmm. So I sent my wife and my kids off to see that stupid kid movie, and I waited for Anaconda to come out on streaming. It's very frustrating for me. So you are right. You're right. Minions is going to ruin the Odyssey before it even comes out.
Funny if the Minions ruined Odyssey.
Oh, it'd be hilarious. John, what were you saying?
John.
Well, I was just you kind of picked up on what I was going to say, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to go, I don't want to go to the cinema for the Odyssey. I'm just going to watch it at home. And they'll wait for it to be on on demand or buy or rent,
Especially given how long it is, right? Like the runtime is.
Yeah, you're going to need certain toilet stops for that, certainly at my age.
So the
no way I'm getting through 4 hours.
The runtime it's not 4 hours, 3 hours. The runtime is 3 hours.
If you made it through Oppenheimer, you can make it through this.
People are speculating a 3.5 hour duration, and we don't even know we don't even totally know. They're saying that it's around 3 to 3.5 hours. That's so long for a movie.
It's nuts, guys. I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to go to the cinema having to wear a shiwi, for crying out loud.
We call them sneaky leakers.
So they said it's confirmed they have even longer in raw footage than the Oppenheimer. Ooh.
Oh shit, dude! Moana live action comes out July 10th.
Yeah, this movie is cooked, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh my god! Moana, which I believe is going to be the biggest movie of the year, moneymaker of the year, is coming out a week before Odyssey. I take it back. Odyssey's not going to make its money.
Yeah, Odyssey. Thank you. Okay, we're on the same page. I'm glad we continued this. Odyssey is going to flop. There's too much competition, and it's too long and it's too expensive.
So if that happens, then do you think then this begins the downward trend of Christopher Nolan? Will he? I
don't know, but that is a topic for another day.
Yeah, we should talk. We should talk about that for sure.
We'll talk about that
when Odyssey comes out.
When the Odyssey comes out. Yeah. For now, we're going to move on to the next topic. Thank you guys. If you have an opinion, hit the chat or hit the comments and let us know what you guys think about the Odyssey.